Live to Zeina Khodr, who's just outside Tripoli, the suburbs of Tripoli, in fact, YARMOUK base, which is the former base of the KHAMIS brigade. And Zeina, you are seeing there, as are the people around you, more evidence, it seems, of war atrocities committed in this battle.
Yes, more evidence. Like you mentioned, we are at the base of the KHAMIS brigade. This was under the control of Gaddafi's forces until Friday. On Friday, we actually witnessed the battles when fighters loyal to the National Transitional Council pushed Gaddafi's men from this base. And when they entered this base, what they found really, you can see that makeshift jail behind me, 150 dead bodies, approximately 150 dead bodies. We're getting different numbers, but this is what eyewitnesses and residents of Yarmouk have been telling us. They were in this makeshift jail, and on Tuesday, again this is according to eyewitness accounts, Gaddafi's forces opened fire and they threw grenades. So some of them were killed by the bullets, others were burned alive. And you can see, if we just pan a little bit to the right, relatives have been gathering here, waiting for DNA samples to be taken. Some of them have told us that they are sure that their relatives were in this makeshift jail. They were picked up by Gaddafi's forces, some a few days ago, others a few weeks ago, and others months ago, really. The smell here is horrible. It's decomposing bodies. And if we just move to the right a bit, you're going to see that they have been exhuming graves that they believe belong to Gaddafi soldiers, men who refused to take orders. And behind the wall, within the compound, another body. It seems that the man tried to escape, but Gaddafi's forces shot and killed him. So more atrocities here, more evidence of atrocities. We have to make a point clear here. The fighters loyal to the National Transitional Council, they stormed Tripoli last Sunday. They managed to take control of some areas, but not the whole capital. So some areas were still under the control of Gaddafi's forces, and it seems that they took out anyone who was loyal to the NTC. We've seen that in other places like Abu Salim. A lot of bodies were found. So basically, we are at the main base, really. After Bab el-Azizia, this is the second biggest base of the KHAMIS brigade in the Libyan capital.
Absolutely grim, really quite frightening stuff. Zeina, who else is there? You showed us the relatives there. Is the National Transitional Council assuming some sort of role here in trying to get people's relatives back to them, the bodies back to them, or who's sort of taking control?
Well, it is the fighters loyal to the National Transitional Council and the people of the area, really. Nobody else is here. The people you see behind us, some of them belong, they were some people from the media, and it's basically the relatives and the people of this region. The National Transitional Council has a lot to handle at the moment, a lot of challenges. Yes, they managed to take control of the capital. Security definitely has improved. The sound of gunfire can still be heard, but it's usually celebratory gunfire. And other challenges they face is to restore basic services, water. There is no running water in the city. Electricity is erratic. Food supplies are low. Some supermarkets have opened, but there's little on the shelves. And the NTC really has warned, some of its members have warned, that there is a possibility of instability if they're not able to pay salaries, if they're not able to restore these basic services. So a lot of challenges really lie ahead.
Yeah, all the jubilation of last week, the reality now sets in, doesn't it? Zeina Khodr live for us there in Tripoli. Thank you. I mentioned this before, the National Transitional Council nominating members for a new government, some political developments. However, there are a growing number of Libyans who are unhappy with the way the country's new leadership is in fact shaping up. Andrew Simmons with more now from MISRATA.
It's a small protest, but it's indicative of a growing public resistance to the way the National Transitional Council is nominating figures for government. They say the old guard of the Gaddafi regime are far too prominent in the list of people issued so far. They're also insisting there should be new faces for a new Libya. There's one particular issue which concerns them, and that's the name Brani Shkal. He was commander of the 32nd Brigade, responsible for so much bloodshed in Tripoli Street and also in the fall of Sleaton, when more than 40 fighters died in one day. The people here say too much blood has been spilt to accept figures from the Gaddafi regime in government early on. And this resistance